the town of Havenwood, a pinprick on the vast map of rural America. Fields of corn and soy stretched for miles. Life here moved at a slower pace. People knew their neighbors. Doors were often left unlocked. It was a place where nothing much ever happened, or so everyone believed. The date was October 17, 1998, a night like any other, or so it began. The air was cool, carrying the scent of autumn. A blanket of stars glittered fiercely above. No moon, just pure, deep darkness. This was the kind of night for quiet contemplation, or perhaps an early bedtime. The residents of Havenwood went about their usual routines. Dinners were finished, dishes were washed, televisions flickered with the evening news. Children were tucked into their beds. There was no premonition, no sense of impending dread, just the ordinary hum of a small town settling down. The silence of the countryside was profound, broken only by the chirp of crickets or the distant bark of a dog. Suddenly something shifted. It wasn't a sound, not at first, more like a change in the air, a prickling sensation on the skin. 7 people. They didn't know each other. A farmer, a schoolteacher, a mechanic, a young couple, a reclusive artist, a teenage boy. Their lives were separate. Until one fateful night, bound by an experience defying logic, an experience marking them forever. Alone in their spaces, facing the unbelievable. Their stories converged. It began with a strange sound, a humming through their homes. Then a blinding light, paralysis. They couldn't move. Terror gripped them. They were helpless. Was this a dream? It felt real. The world outside vanished. They felt lifted, passing through walls, ceilings, windows. Physical matter was no obstacle. The laws of physics suspended. They were taken. Hours later, or so it felt, they were returned. Not gently, but abruptly, finding themselves back in their homes, sometimes in different rooms, or even outside. Disoriented, confused, shaken to their core. Was it over? What had just happened? The initial shock gave way to a chilling realization. Something profound had occurred, something that left more than just fear in its wake. The world felt different. They felt different. Their bodies ached. Their minds raced. The most immediate tangible evidence was on their skin. Strange marks, small, precise punctures, sometimes in patterns, triangles or straight lines, often in places not easily seen or reached, like behind the ear or on their ankles. These marks were identical on several of the abductees. They hadn't been there before. They were sore, reddened, a physical testament to a non-physical seeming journey. These weren't bug bites. These weren't accidental scratches. These were deliberate, purposeful. Then came the awareness of missing time. Clocks showed hours had passed. Section 4, Probing the Impossible. Investigators face a wall. News of the strange occurrences began to filter through Havenwood. Whispers turned into rumors. Rumors turned into front-page headlines in the local paper. 7 people, all claiming something impossible. The initial reaction from local authorities was predictably skepticism. A prank? Mass hysteria? They looked for logical explanations, for any sign of a hoax. They interviewed each person separately. Their stories were checked, cross-referenced, but no simple answer emerged. The consistency was unnerving. Independent researchers soon descended upon the small town. Ufologists, paranormal investigators, psychologists specializing in trauma. They were drawn by the sheer improbability of the case. 7 unrelated individuals, all reporting a similar abduction experience, on the same night, in the same small geographic area. This wasn't your typical lone claimant. This had the hallmarks of something significant. If true, it was monumental. The investigators brought equipment and a lot of questions. They were determined to find answers. One of an investigator's key tools, the polygraph test, lie detectors. Each of the 7 abductees agreed to undergo testing. The results were startling. Section 5. The Havenwood 7, a legacy of unanswered questions. The Havenwood case exploded onto the national stage. Media crews flocked to the quiet town, turning it into a circus. The 7 abductees found themselves in an unwelcome spotlight. Some shied away, others felt a duty to speak, hoping someone might have answers. Their lives were dissected, their sanity questioned. Yet, their accounts remained consistent. Official channels stayed silent. The government offered no explanation. The lack of an official statement fueled speculation. It allowed the mystery to grow. Was this a cover-up, or did they simply have no answers? The void of information was filled with theories, some plausible, some wild. The Havenwood 7 became a landmark case in UFO literature. It stood out due to the number of witnesses and their unrelated backgrounds, the consistency of their detailed accounts and physical marks, the positive lie detector results, the lack of any evidence of a hoax.